So here we are with it's Cupra day today. Two monsters. This is actually Coles, I believe. It runs a Zona turbo, external wastegate, and we've got Aquamist methanol injection. I mean, look at this setup. This is a bit of a work of art. This, we've got larger throttle body. Yeah, really impressive. Yeah, we've got 380 miles done on this now. But yeah, couldn't miss an opportunity to have both these monster Cupras next to each other. Anyway, let's see how Louis gets on. Bucket batteries, babe. Yes! Yeah, it sounds a bit like Jurassic Park here. He's a bit pissed off. And welcome back to the channel on this lovely sunny day. So Chris's car. We are on 480 miles on this. We have got a trip to Unicorn, which I'll tell you about in a minute. So by the time we get back from Unicorn, we should be on around about 550 miles. So we're going to drop the sump, inspect the bottom end, and obviously get this ready for dyno, which that's another thing that we're going to announce later on. Anyway, as usual, really busy. Some nice Cupras in. An S3s and the Golf R. There's Jason's Golf R. I don't know if you I don't know if we mentioned this in the last video. So the last engine we built is Jason's Golf. Is this all ready now? We're just waiting for MOT because it has been off the road for about 6 months. So we got it booked in for MOT on Thursday, 2 o'clock. So we'll be doing running miles on this. So yeah, quite an interesting turn of events this past week. So I don't know if you remember Louis Cupra, the red one. So we ran that engine in, we took it to Unicorn, however started misfiring on the dyno. It was cylinder 3, so we presumed, because there was a bit of a smell of fuel coming out of the exhaust as well, presumed okay, maybe we got a dodgy injector. We do change the injectors on there, we put freshly serviced ones on, so no biggie. We brought it back and changed the injectors. We changed the top, the bottom. Although we were still getting a misfire, so when it was coming into boost, it was still misfiring quite badly. Anyway, what it turned out to be, I know this from experience from, we had the Golf R doing a similar thing at over 600 horsepower, and it turned out to be the ASR, so the traction control. And Louis was the same. So if you turn traction control completely off, well, I mean, it's never always off, but when you press and hold the button, it didn't misfire. Great. So Louis was happy, picked it up. It was super fast Cupra. And anyway, about 1 o'clock in the morning, got a message off him saying I'm on the M6. Car's just died. So the way he described it was like his alternator had gone. So I don't know if you've ever driven a car when the alternator dies and it starts running on battery power, and then obviously when your battery depletes, the engine starts losing power until you crawl. Anyway, that's what he told me. So 2:30 in the morning, I darted to the M6 in my van, expecting to either change the alternator, check his battery. However, when we started it, we had rod knock. So here we are with his engine out. So we did do running miles on this, on cylinder 4, from what we can see, spanner bearing. So I know I always show you the good stuff. You know, cars making power and going out and everything's shiny. You know, we're all shiny, happy people holding hands. But this is the nature of the business, and we don't know what it is yet. So we've taken this engine out. We've got to strip this down and find out why that bearing span I mean, generally it's from oil starvation, so we did check the tolerances on this, so we've got to check them again. Anyway, we'll have this back on the road by the weekend. It's just one of them things, nature of the business. I mean, we've done 19 engines so far this year, and that's the one that's bitten us in the arse, so be good. Anyway, I'm going to show you this, because this is Cole's Cupra, much like Chris's. It runs a massive turbo with an electronic wastegate. So we've got a big Zona turbo there. Now Rick over at Unicorn Motor Developments has managed to crack the ECU to work with this electronic wastegate, and there's going to be a lot of people out there saying it's not possible. Well, it is possible because he's done it. So we've had this in its current state of tune, because he's halfway through tuning this. It made 710 horsepower. It is front wheel drive, but we have got an RS3 gearbox, and I think he's got plans to go four wheel drive later on. I mean, all that power through the front, it's going to be really difficult to manage. Anyway, this was him because we had an issue, or he had an issue should I say, with this downpipe set up from the turbo. So that downpipe was made when he had a 250 DQ 250. Now he's put the 500 in. It was fouling the transfer box, I believe, so he had someone adjust the downpipe to take it away to get that clearance. However, when that person's done that, the mating faces on the flange, it just opened up just enough to let air in. So basically, when you were cruising around in this, the short-term fuel trims are going right up until the ECU faulted out with a lean condition. So yes, we had fun yesterday. We have fixed it now. We had fun taking all that apart, getting heat wrap fibres all over our body. But yeah, it's all fixed. So this is going back to Unicorn tomorrow. But yeah, it's a work of art, this really, isn't it? I mean, we've got larger throttle body, Aquamist ported methanol, one just before the just after the intercooler, sorry. But yeah, it's Turbo Smart Comp Gate 40 with the blow off valve there. Does sound mega, so hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll have some more on this in the channel later on after it's tuned. But yeah, Louis' car. So it's unfortunate. I do feel really bad for him, but we do try and react to, you know, any instance like this. I mean, this has been the first one, and hopefully the only one, touch wood. But yeah, we did get out as soon as he called me. I came here, picked my van up, picked some tools up, and we met him on the M6, which is just over an hour away. And then we got it recovered back. So I am pretty gutted for Louis. I'm more gutted for Louis than I am ourselves having to redo this, because obviously he's not had his car for a while. It's supposed to be an exciting moment, isn't it, getting your car back? And I think he enjoyed it all of 2 hours, and then this happened, so we need to find out what went wrong. So let's crack on. Let's see where the crank sensor's picked up some bearing material. So we had a fault for crank sensor range. Crank still spins free. Spun. You can just see this line here. Which David pick out. That's two shells together. So it looks to be an issue with this main bearing here. You can just see if the camera will pick it up, the sides. It's a bit coarse there. You can just see something's been grabbing. All the other ones all fine, so there's either oil supply issue to this bearing, or the bearing was defecting somewhere. So we're just going to run an airline and see if anything comes out of here when we pass air through the channel, see if there is a blockage there. But this bearing feeds this journal. What a twat. So yeah, so annoyingly we found the issue. I don't know if you remember when we were building Chris's, we were waiting for black main bearings. We've had an issue with TPS for past 2 months now, where we keep getting sent bearings that are scratched and damaged, and it always seems to be the blacks. I don't know if you can see this, but lo and behold, this is a black bearing, and you can just see. I don't know if this camera's going to pick it up, but it's been out of shape basically. You just see scoring there. So that is basically sent debris, because this bearing feeds this rod. Sent debris which has starved this bearing of oil. It's also, if you look down there, the crank wheel, which is the trigger wheel for the crank sensor. It's also damaged the piston, so we'll have to get this piston out, replace this rod, replace this piston, and see what we can do about this bearing. Well, about replacing it, we're just on the phone, well, Dave's on the phone now to TPS, because that is not our fucking fault. Yeah, for weeks now we've had an issue with blacks. This bit is in the arse. So anyway, we're off to Unicorn tomorrow. Got to drop coals off, and we'll have a chat with Rick and see when we can get Louis back on the dyno. Now we sorted that misfire issue out, we should have this, I mean, we've got rods and pistons arriving tomorrow, so we should have this back on the road, providing we can sort this bearing, get a replacement that is not damaged. I mean, it's super hard obviously when you get these to check the run out on them is right, but you can see there from the wear that the run out has not been right on this bearing. Fucking cars. So yeah, fast forward a week or so. So Louis' car's fixed now. What a pain in the arse that was. So we checked through the block, we checked through everything. So it's back on the road. What we can deduce really is that main bearing was defected or at fault. I mean, we checked through the entire block. I'll just show you on this one we got here. So where are we? So yeah, so this main bearing, as I previously mentioned, feeds this rod bearing. So this main bearing looks to be defect, but what we did is, obviously this is the crude intake from the oil pump. So we ran air through all the oil ways. We had consistent air pressure coming out of all the oil exits on the mains. So we know we didn't have a oil starvation issue in terms of a blockage anywhere. So what we've done, sorry, I'm just losing my thought there. So what we've done, we obviously replaced the bearings. We've opened up that tolerance slightly on that main bearing, because they are pretty tight. New oil pump, and of course it meant a new crank, new rod, new piston, because the piston, I don't think we've got it. I think I showed you actually. It just damaged the piston on the trigger wheel on the crank. Obviously with the bearing disintegrated on the rod. The piston drops down further and it just hit the back of that. I don't know where the piston is, miles away. Oh, hang on. Oh, my lovely assistant Dave has just brought it. You just see there, I won't want to put that back in. I mean, that would be unbalanced, that piston there. You can just see where it's impacted the head ever so slightly as well. So we did have the block checked. We sent the block to the machine shop just to clean the bore and get it checked, sizes, to see if it was okay to, you know, replace a piston and the rod, which it was. So anyway, we're just running the miles in now. It's booked back in with Unicorn. Tuesday coming, or Wednesday. But anyway, yeah, Charlie's car's back. So we got a DQ500 to fit on this finally. It's in the back of the boot. I mean, why you put a gearbox in a nice car like that, Charlie? So that will be on the ramp on Monday. We've got Ryan's car. Ryan's is going on the ramps next week. So this is the next built engine we're doing. He's having a whole host of things. So we've got a Turbo Technics V4 to fit, we've got fuel pumps to put on, meth kit to put on, boost pipes to put on, Hell racing line cooler, and yeah, that should be done in a couple of weeks. That's booked in on the 21st of July for tuning. This one, I don't know if you remember this one. This one was with the really rattly engine. So we've just finished this. This is getting running at the moment. Jason's car's all done. I've just got to put a meth kit on this and he's going to pick it up. We've done running miles. We dropped the sump and the oil yesterday. So yeah, so he's going to be picking that up next week. And then next on the ramp, we've got this S3. This is Ricky's S3. So we'll be building his engine next as well. And I'm sure if you all want to know what's going on with this. Now, we've got some secrets with this one. So I am changing a few things on the turbo setup. We have run in the miles now, so we are on 620 miles actually. So we're going to drop the oil on this, do some alterations to the boost control, and then we are taking this. We're actually taking this to get mapped. So that's exciting, isn't it? That's where we are. Dave's cracking on. I'm going to crack on with this fluid. I'll see you in the next one. Anyway, quick update on the yard. Some of you might notice Chris's Cupra isn't here. That's because, and this is all very hush, it is currently being tuned. So that's going to be a super exciting video when that returns. We're expecting it the end of the week, maybe next week. We should hear back from that, but I'll do a video on what exactly we've changed from his previous setup. Anyways, some of you might recognise this one. So yeah, another secret announcement about this one, which I'll go in the next video. But yeah, we've got this one's come in.